What's up, everyone? Welcome to our NBL season preview. My name's Reece. This is Hesh. We're the hosts of Oz Hoopers TV, and we're bringing you an NBL season preview. Before we start, we want to make it clear that this NBL season is due to be the biggest NBL season yet. And we just want to say that these 10 teams are very evenly spread, and it is quite impossible to pick which teams are going to place where and who's going to place in the top four. So if you are watching this late in the season and there is a big error, please forgive us. We are not experts.
Don't forgive us at all, because this is an impossible job, bro. I would like to see anybody pick these teams. This is arguably one of the, dude, this is impossible, man.
Legit. But we will try. We will attempt to predict where we think teams are going to place, who's the biggest pickup in the off seasons, what our thoughts on the rosters are, the best move they've made. We'll try our best and we'll give you our opinions. We're going through these teams 1 to 10 in alphabetical order. We'll do a team each, and then at the end of each team, we will tell you guys where we think they're going to place. First, we've got the Adelaide 36ers. I think this team is very up in the air. I'm keen to see where you have them placed, Hesh. My thoughts on this roster. Now, looking at this roster, I'm going to put some graphs up for you guys to have a look. This team is very deep. They brought in McCarron. They've got DJ and Humphreys, who I think are arguably the best bigs in the league. I think they have great backup bigs in Cam Bairstow and Emmanuel Malou. Last year, they went 13 and 23. They came 7th out of the 9 teams. They've got a new coach at the helm, CJ Bruton. They've brought in young guys, Kai Soto and Mo King. And then a real wild card for me is Dusty Hannahs. He won't like me saying that, but I think he's got a big question mark on his name, I think. I'm just really questioning if he's going to be consistent. Is he going to be putting up 20s consistently, or is he going to put up the 20s and then the 5s, the 30, and then back down to 6? So my thoughts on this roster, I think they're very powerful. I think they definitely have the chance to make the top 4. And if they do make the top 4, they're going to be a problem in a 3-game series. So I like the look of this team. I like CJ Bruton as a head coach. I think he is one of the best coaches in the NBL. They did go 5-0 this preseason. I like the look of Todd Withers. Nick Marshall impressed me at the end of the preseason games. And we are big fans on this show of Mitch McCarron. He's one of Hesh's favorite players. The best move they made this season, I think, speaking of Mitch McCarron, is Mitch McCarron. I know they brought in a lot of imports, but I know United had the choice to keep Mitch McCarron or bring in Della Vadova. I'm not too sure on the contracts. They don't release that in the NBL, but I think Mitch McCarron produces and he's got the experience. He won with United last year. I just think he's going to control his team. He won the preseason MVP. I think he's going to play a big part in their success. Who do I want to see make the biggest leap from the Adelaide 36ers? I'm going to say Mo King, the obvious choice. I know they have Kai Soto, but I think Mojave King coming off a very questionable year last year with Cairns, not his fault entirely. There was spurts where, he didn't perform, but there was also flashes of NBA potential. He has the potential to be a top 15 pick. He has to drop those 18-point games. He has to drop the 20-point games. He just needs to show a lot of confidence. He needs to be an impact player off the bench if this team wants to succeed. So I'm going to go Mo King. I'm a big fan of Mo King. What needs to happen for the Adelaide 36ers to win? It's a great question. I think it does just jump back to the best bigs in the league, DJ and Humphreys. I don't think any bigs in the league match up with them very well. I know Illawarra have Sam Froling and Duop Reef, but I do think DJ Humphreys, I think he's a 5-time NBL MVP. DJ Johnson. Daniel Johnson. Yeah, sorry. He's a 5-time NBL MVP, and Humphreys last year was an MVP candidate before getting injured. So I think if they want to succeed, those two need to go to work, and they need to bully these other bigs in the NBL. Really big fan of Adelaide. So we'll get into where we think they're going to place this season. I've got them at 6th position.
Damn, okay.
I really like Adelaide. I think they're going to do very, very well. I think it's going to come down to some crucial losses throughout the season that is going to cost them. And I don't see them making the 4. If they do make the 4, I think they're going to be a really big problem for any team in a 3-game series. I think this team has the chance to do very well, but I've got them at 6.
Nice.
Where do you have Adelaide on your ladder?
I've got Adelaide at 4th.
Wow, you've got them in the top
Got
4.
them,
Interesting.
man. I had to make some changes. I know I've been saying some things about some other teams, and hopefully they'll be in the top 4, this and that, about other teams. But looking at the rosters, and I agree with a lot of what you said. Mitch McCarron, 2 big fellas in the paint, great bench depth. I got him in the 4, man. Got him at 4th.
Interesting. I know you're a big fan of McCarron, so we'll see how he does this year. Cam Bairstow also looked very good in the preseason. I think he's going to play a big part in this team. All right, the Brisbane Bullets. Hesh, let's hear it.
Brisbane Bullets, man. So, I like the roster, man. Yeah, I see you repping it right there. But I like the roster, man. I think they kept a good core together, and I think they're gonna be back better. We looked at Lamar Patterson. We've talked about him a little bit. He's come back nice and strong. He's looking fit. He's looking like he's in shape. He's commenting on social media about the MVP race and the All-Star 5. Like, it seems like he's locked in. That's the energy I'm getting from him, which is good. So I like their roster. I think they got depth. They kept the core together. So I think they're going to do some damage. They got a new coach in James Duncan, who I like, and on all accounts is supposed to be a really good coach, a good players coach, a good systems coach. So I think they're going to be in good shape. The best move they made, I think, was to bring back their core. I mean, I'm not going to put it down to one player. I really like Kadee and Sobey in the backcourt. Tyrell Harrison showed promise. Lamar Patterson is obviously someone that didn't show us his best last season. But with those 4, I think they've added to that with Drimic as well. Obviously, he's in that core. They've added to that with guys like Deng Deng, Tanner Krebs, Tom Digby, the next stars. So I think they got the pieces to be damaging. Their roster's just well-rounded, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. Biggest leap this season, Tyrell Harrison. We already know that I'm high on him. I've spoken about him being NBA potential, and I think he's showed some glimpses in this preseason that he's looking athletically a little bit stronger. He's just looking like he's ready to go. Catching some nice lobs and catching some bodies. So he's the one I want to see make the biggest leap. For them to win it all, I think Sobey's going to have to go MVP mode. He's going to have to carry, and he can do it. Anyone that doubts Nathan Sobey's off their head. So I think he's definitely the type of caliber player that can do it. And I think if he does, they're going to have a chance. They're going to be there. So given all of that, not too many bad things to say. I'm impressed with Brisbane's roster. I want to say they're coming in 3rd, just ahead of Adelaide.
Wow, 3rd.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I like them a lot. I think their group is tough. Who you got?
I really like the Bullets. I am a Bullets fan, and this isn't bias. So I really liked them in the preseason. They looked tough to beat. They really did. I like Nathan Sobey off the ball a little bit more. I like LP. He looks angry. He looks hungry. We haven't even seen Kadee. I think he played in the last game. But he plays a big part in this team as well. Isaiah Moss hasn't played a game, who is their 3rd import. I'm liking the look of the Brisbane Bullets. So I've got them. I did originally have them 3rd. I moved them to 4th. I've got them making the 4.
All right.
These past couple seasons, I think they were very close. I think they came 6th last year. I think them and Sydney were close to making it, and the year before they were very close to making it as well. So I think this year they crack the 4 and they make the 4th position.
Didn't even mention Robert Franks, by the way. I think he's actually going to be damaging. He's going to be a role-playing format, and I think he's going to put up some serious numbers and be an energy guy that's going to give him a lot. So I like their roster, man. I'm glad we agreed. Top 4 team for sure.
Yeah, I like it. I like the look of the Bullets. All right, Cairns Taipans. I'm not the best person to do a review on the Taipans. I'm not a huge fan of what they did in the preseason. I know it is preseason. You can't harp on it too much. They went 8-28 last year, which is last. They have brought in a new coach in Adam Ford, who did really well in Sydney last year. Some things that I think on the roster, I think Scott Machado, he did look a little bit inconsistent, but I'm sure he'll string it together. He did lead the league in assists last year. I am a big fan of Scotty Machado, so hopefully he can lead this team to a few wins. Tajir McCall looks very, very good. He looks like a defensive-minded point guard that also has very good offense. Stefan Zimmerman looks all right. He looks like he's going to match up with a few bigs. I know he came out with a pretty big statement off the rip and said he's going to smash the team that didn't take him. Bull Kowal, I think that's how you pronounce it. He really impressed me. I think he's going to play a big part in this team. I think he will eventually start. And yeah, I'm just not sold on the Cairns Taipans. What needs to happen for them to win it all? I'm not going to say it's impossible. They definitely have the talent. I just think losing Cam Oliver, they obviously lost DJ Newbill the year before, and things didn't go too well. And they've kind of brought back the same sort of group from last year: Mirko Jarek, Majuk Dang, Scott Machado, Jawai, Natai, Noi. So like, I don't know. Maybe Noi didn't play much last year. We'll see how the Cairns Taipans go. I think Cairns Taipans place 10th and they finish last this season.
I'm with it. I have to agree with it. Sorry to say, Cairns Taipans, looking at the talent that other teams have and how they've recruited, I tend to agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think they'll string together some wins. I think they'll upset some teams. I think they'll disrupt some momentum for other teams. They'll play well at home. Scott Machado will have patches where he looks like the best point guard in the NBL. I just can't see them stringing together consistent patches of basketball where they're going to put themselves in the hunt to do some serious damage. So, unfortunately, I have to agree with you. I think I've got them. Somebody has to finish 10th, man, and I've got the Cairns Taipans.
For sure. We'll move on.
Right. Yeah, let's move on. Illawarra Hawks. Now, okay. Brian Goorjian comes back. He's obviously goated as a coach. We know this. Unbelievable. Last year, they went 20-16. So they finished third. They had a pretty successful season. And I thought they were really good. I thought they were solid. They came to the party last year, and this year they've upgraded their roster. They're looking even more dangerous with the addition of XRM, Xavier Rathan-Mays. He's arguably, I said this yesterday on the weekly drop, I think he's going to lead the league in scoring. Obviously, they've added Duop Reith, who just came off a Boomers campaign where he looked promising. Didn't play too much, but when he did play, he looked really good. They're going to bring back Emmett Na, Ogilvy, the Froling brothers. It was Sam Froling last year who had a great year, and now Harry joins him coming from Brisbane to Illawarra. So they're going to be in the front court together. Tim Conrad as a vet. Calder Gax now coming into his first contracted year after a DP year. So everything's just kind of upgraded for them from their existing players. And then now they've added in extra, which is just crazy. Just Indian Jessup comes back who lit up last year. So there's really no weakness in that roster. I can't see anywhere where I'm thinking, oh, they have a hole here or a hole here. Like if they got all the pieces. Person I want to see make the biggest leap, I mean, there's two of them there. I think number one, it's AK. I'm a fan of AK's game, and I think he's going to get some love this season. I think he's going to be really solid. So he's obviously there, and hopefully he can make a push to put himself on the map as one of the young up-and-coming stars in the country. And then in addition to that, it's Sam Froling. I know he was good last year, but I think I want to see him contribute a little bit more on the offensive end. I think he has the potential. I don't think he's a rim protector, rolling type of dirty work type of big. I think he's actually got some finesse about him. He's got a nice little floater game. He's got good touch around the rim. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes on the offensive side. So both those guys I'm keeping an eye out for to progress. What needs to happen for them to win it all? Man, I think they just got to click. I think they just got to find their gear, and it's kind of laid out for them from a roster standpoint. I think they've recruited very well and added to the roster exceptionally well, to the point where I think they've got the best roster on paper in the league. And that's why I got them winning the chip, man.
Damn. You got them first?
I got them coming first.
Crazy enough. So do I. I've got Illawarra in first place. So we've agreed. We've got Bullets. Both have Bullets in our top four. We've both got Illawarra in the first place position. I think this team looks unreal. Harvey and XRM in the 1 and 2. It's gonna be hard to guard. I think Duop Reith looked pretty good, pretty damn good in one of the games in the preseason. I can't remember which one. Sam Froling and Tony's Cleveland looked all right in one of the games. So yeah, I'm keen that we're lucky Dan Greeder's out. for a little bit. I think the rest of the league's lucky because he's a very good player as well. Isaac White looked very good in the preseason. I'm wondering how he meshes with this roster. And Jessup, if he can be consistent, I know there's games where he has 20 and there's games where he has, 6 points. But if he can be consistent, this team is trouble. And I think if Jessup can pick it up and be more consistent and this team clicks, I don't see anyone beating them. So I got Illawarra first. The next team, the new franchise, the JackJumpers, very fun to watch. That's the first thing I've noticed about the JackJumpers. Josh Majette is looking like a very, very good chance at the MVP. Will Magnay looked unreal when he played. Josh Adams has been one of the biggest surprises. I like the energy that the Tassie crowd brought in. We've had Weeksy on. Jack McVeigh is a great pickup. I think this is the best possible team they could have brought together for a new franchise. I know it's hard to bring in guys to Tasmania. It's very far from everywhere else. So it would have been hard to make guys go over there and move and live over there. So props to the JackJumpers. I think they did a very good job. They did a very good job promoting it. I know the name got a little bit of stick at the start, but I like the name now. It's kind of growing on me a little bit. I like the JackJumpers. They're a very fun team to watch. I think they do string some wins together. What needs to happen for them to win it all? I think there is a chance. There is a slight chance the JackJumpers can take out the chip. As bad as it sounds, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, no, hell no, no chance. But I think they do. Josh Majette is a really good player. A lot of guys in the JackJumpers locker room have said that he's done some absolutely unreal stuff at practice, like practice-ending moves. We've seen him launch from the logo. Great facilitator, sending Magnay lobs. I think Magnay's due a really big season. And that kind of leads into my next thing. Who do I want to see make the biggest leap? Will Magnay. I think, we saw him play unreal on the Bullets. I think he was the best defensive player in the league. He went to Wildcats, didn't really get minutes, didn't really produce much, wasn't really fitting with their play style. And now he's got on a brand new franchise with a point guard that's going to find him. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to probably get Defensive Player of the Year. I think Will Magnay is due to make the biggest leap on this team. I was a little bit worried with Nikita, their next star. I don't think he saw many minutes. I think he was third last out of their roster on the minutes in preseason games, which is a little bit worrying. I'm wondering if he makes, the final team's rotation. I think he should. I've seen some clips of him. I think he's very tough. So we'll see how they kind of, use him. Where do we see JackJumpers coming this season?
Want me to go first?
I'll do it first.
Yeah, tell me.
Now, I'm tossing up, but I'm gonna have JackJumpers coming ninth. I think the JackJumpers coming second last this year, only because they're a new franchise. I like Scott Roth at the head of the snake, but yeah, I think they come ninth this year. One of the teams has to come ninth. That's not a diss at JackJumpers, but yeah, I've got them coming ninth.
I get it. Listen, they were in the hunt for my top four. I like their roster, man. I think they've done a hell of a job, like you said. First season up. They've gone an interesting route. They haven't recruited any massive names, nobody that's just a superstar Bryce Cotton type. We've seen Josh Majette, he's going to be MVP caliber, but no one really knew who he was coming in. They've gotten guys like Clint Steindl, guys like Jared Weeks, guys like Will Magnay, Jared Besto, Fabian Krislovich, Matt Kenyon. Great locker room type of team. I feel like they're all going to get along really well. I feel like they're all excited to be there and build something new. So I had them originally pushing for the top four, but I bumped them down to sixth for the season. I think they'll be middle of the pack. I think they'll be good. I think they have a chance, but I got them at sixth.
That's interesting. The thing I was tossing up was eighth. But I did bump them down one. So
interesting. I'm that. I think they'll be good.
I'll let you know who I bumped them down for when the team comes up, but we'll see. Next team, Melbourne United. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this. I think this is another team that's a bit up in the air. They've got 2 import spots open. We've got Delhi coming in. So let's hear it. United.
This is a tough one for me, man.
Me
This
too.
is a really tough one. I think they've got a team full of vets. I like a lot of their roster. We've spoken about Joe Luau and Ariel Hookbody. I think both of them are going to be huge for them in the big positions. They've gone with a veteran kind of team with Delhi, Newey, and Barlow, all kind of at the back end of their careers, but can still produce a little bit. You know, Chris Goulding obviously still there as captain, and he's going to be a sniper this year as well. Caleb Agata hasn't impressed me an awful lot. He's cool, seems okay, but he doesn't seem like someone that's going to be an MVP type caliber player. But he's still pretty solid. Who do I want to see make the biggest leap? Obviously, Joe Luau. I think he's going to win most improved. I think he's going to come in and put up some serious numbers. I think he's going to cement himself as a starting center. And I think I'm excited for that progression. What needs to happen for them to win it all? I think it's going to be really tough for them. I just don't think they have the punch and the potency on the offensive side of the floor to put up a lot of points. I think they'll be a pretty well-disciplined team and they'll give themselves a chance. But I can just see older roster. I'm just not sure that it's all going to click together and they're going to play with the juice that's required with some of these other rosters out there. So I don't think they're going to win it all. But if they do, it's going to be based on the fact that their veteran leadership comes together and they pace their season perfectly and they peak at the right time heading into finals. But I don't think that's going to be likely. So as a result, and this might shock you, I have them at 8, man.
This might shock you too, but I've also got them at 8.
There you go. Shit, okay.
We agree. And this is the team that I bumped above JackJumpers. I was going to put the Melbourne United 9th. And I was like, that's just not right, reigning champs. But I was seriously considering it. I think I look at Tasmanian JackJumpers and I look at United and I think JackJumpers have the edge. And obviously you have JackJumpers 6 and you have United 8th. I'm going to put United above JackJumpers purely because of the fact they've got Dean Vickerman at the head coaching position. I just think, with the experience and track record he has, he's going to make this work. I think Caleb Agata, he did show flashes of potential to be one of the top scorers in this team. Chris Goulding looks unreal so far. I know he had a really good Boomers campaign. He had a really good season last year, but he looks like he's backing it up again this year. Delhi, I'm really keen to see how his season plays out. I know they got Jack White coming back, but I'm just not sold that they're a top 4 team. And I was contemplating putting them 9th, second last. So, I mean, I hope they prove us wrong. I think Melbourne United have the potential to do so. But yeah, I think a lot of people have these guys in their top 4, but there's just nothing really speaking to me from United's end so far. Could be a bit. A lot of people are going to be a bit questionable about that one.
Yeah.
Next team, we got the New Zealand Breakers. Another fun team to watch. I think other than my Bullets, I think this is probably my second favorite team to sit down and watch. I like the Breakers. I really do. I'm keen to see where you have them placed. My thoughts on the roster, I like it. I like the imports they brought in. I think they've improved tremendously from last year. I like the addition of Yanni Wetzel. Will McDowell-White has played tremendous in this preseason. He's hit some big shots down the stretch. Jeremiah Martin, who I apologize to. I said he had a pretty rocky first game. I know he had 19 points, but it just looks like, I don't know, he didn't really fit in with what they were doing. He was taking some questionable ones, but he's really impressed me. I still think they bring him off the bench. But I do like when he's on the ball and Peyton Seaver is off the ball. I know Peyton Seaver is going to be a really big part of this team. But I still think Will McDowell-White needs the ball in his hands. I like him running the pick and roll. I think he creates for others. I think Peyton Seaver is a very, very good shooter. I think Will McDowell can find him. I think Will McDowell plays a really big role in this team. The young guys, shout out to the young guys, Hugo Basson and Ousmane Deng. These guys killed it in the preseason. I'm not sure how well Ousmane Deng plays throughout the season. I think he does get a lot of minutes, and I think he is very well NBA bound. He looks like a 6'7" guard out there, 6'7" point guard at times. So I like the look of Ousmane Deng. Hugo Basson was the biggest surprise to me in the preseason. He looks like he's going to be one of the main scorers for this team. So yeah, I like the look of the Breakers. I think they'll win a lot of games this year. Last year they only won 12. They came 8 out of 9, but they've made some drastic changes to the team. Kyron Galloway obviously is going to pick up a bigger role this year as well. What needs to happen for them to win it all? I think Finn Delaney needs to make All-NBA first team, and he needs to make a huge impact. I think he played very well in the preseason. It looks like he's worked on his shot in the preseason as well, the off-season, sorry. But yeah, I think they can knock some teams off. Some big teams. I think they're going to have a couple big games, the Breakers, this year. So I like the look of it. I like Peyton Seaver, Martin, Delaney, Will McDowell. They've got a lot of firepower. Basson. I like the look of the Breakers. Yanni Wetzel looks very, very good this year. So I'm excited for the Breakers. But I have them placing 7th.
Damn, I got them at 7th too.
Yeah, crazy.
We cannot do this together, I promise everybody.
Yeah, I haven't told Ash any position of where I'm putting teams, but I've got Breakers at 7th. I think, I think they're better than the other 3 teams I put below them. They're better than Cairns. They're better than JackJumpers. I think they are better than United. But the rest of the teams, I'm just not sure. I think they are going to be one of these teams that are going to be inconsistent. I think they're going to knock off really good teams, but I think they'll also lose to some questionable games. So we'll see. That's where I have for the Breakers. I've got them at 7.
Yeah, I think the same. My biggest concern is Dan Shamir as a coach. I'm just not sold that he's going to bring them together in the way that he needs to get the results based on the system that he's running and how pedantic he is about offensive floor spots and how he runs things, very European style. And I think they got a bit of talent out there where they should be playing a bit more freelance basketball. That's how I feel about it. Every coach is obviously different, and I would never criticize, but I just don't know if he's going to get it done. So got him at 7th.
I like it. Next team, the Perth Wildcats. Now, Hesh, you've got the Perth Wildcats, so be careful what you say, because the Wildcat Army, the Red Army, will harass you.
They're gonna have to listen. Hey, they can't hate on anything I'm saying because they know that I'm the Luke Travers. That's me. I'm on the Travers bandwagon, man. I hold that down for Luke Travers. So, but that being said, Perth have got a good roster. As always, they're gonna compete and they're gonna be right there or thereabouts. I like Bryce Cotton coming back. Obviously, love the pickup of Vic Law. I love the little preseason hype or the off-season hype too, with the social media going back and forth with the Bullets. Mm-hmm. I read it. I was one of the posts that we put out was Hoopers TV. It was the cut, bench or start Tamri, Taryn and Boali.
Yeah.
Vic Law commented, I'd cut. He didn't say nothing, but he just goes, "I'd cut Tamri Wigness." And then he replied to his own comment saying, "I'd sign him again and then cut him again."
Crazy.
I like the beef between Vic Law obviously left Brisbane and he's going to Perth, and there was a bit of that banter going back and forth. I felt like the people reading it were getting all up into it, but they were clearly they're boys and they're just having a bit of fun and they're gonna leave it out there on the court, so it's gonna be cool to see. So I like Vic Law going to Perth. He's gonna be big for them. Who I want to see make the biggest leap, we already know. It's going to be Travis. Going to put himself as a lottery pick this year. I'm already calling it. He's going to go. Next year he's going to be in the NBA. What needs to happen for them to win it all? I think Vic Law and Bryce Cotton need to go ballistic. No injuries. They can't be out at all for any games. They need to be there every game, putting up 25 and 18 points a game, respectively. I think they need to carry, and then Luke Travis needs to be the glue guy, getting it all done. He needs to be averaging almost a triple-double type numbers, like 14, 8, and 4 or something, like he needs to be on that type of tip. And then they can't go down with injuries, and their big fellas need to rebound the ball. I'm a bit concerned with up front what they got with Hodgson, Majok, and Oliver Hayes-Brown. Although he did impress me, Oliver Hayes-Brown, big fella, he's got a bit of bite to him. I'm just not convinced that they're going to get it done in the front court. And as a result, I'm going to place them at 5th, just outside the top 4, pushing for that 4th spot. I just couldn't put them ahead of Adelaide with the 2 big fellas from Adelaide and Mitch McCarron and how they're looking in the preseason. So it was a tough one though. Adelaide, Perth, and Tasmania. That was tough for me to differentiate, but I had to go with Perth at 5th. Where you got them?
I've got Perth 3rd. Now, I think Perth get off to a very rocky start. I think they will lose the first couple games. Everyone will, you know, they'll throw their doubts at them. But I think this team's going to go on a very big win streak midway through the season. I think Cotton's going to flip the switch. We've seen what Vic Law can do. He had a 28-point performance in the preseason. I am concerned, like you said, with the bigs. Mitch Norton's missing some time. I think it's like 5-6 weeks. Michael Fraser, pretty rocky preseason as well. I think they had a very bright spot in Kyle Zunic. Luke Travers looks amazing. They're obviously going to get Todd Blanchfield back in the postseason, hopefully, or even earlier than that. So I like the look of this team. Vic Law and Cotton, you can't doubt those two. I think that is the best duo in the league. And I'm not going to doubt Cotton.
Better than XRM and Tyler Harvey?
I think so. I think Cotton and Law are the best duo in the league. I think, it's Bryce Cotton. Let's not forget, it's Bryce Cotton. He's the LeBron of the NBL. I'm not going to doubt him. I'm going to say they make the 4. Now, the reason why I have him in... Sorry, say that again?
I was just going to say, I think Bryce Cotton has also been the Bryce Cotton that he is a lot because of Trevor Gleeson as well, who they're missing this season. Let's not forget that too.
New coach, a lot of things can change, but I still have them making the 4. Homicide doesn't. Homicide says they're not making it. But yeah, we'll see. I think they're going to flick the switch mid-season. I think they are going to get off to a rocky start. So don't be surprised if they start losing a couple games at the start. But yeah, I think these guys will find their feet, and I think they'll make things work. So I've got them 3rd.
Okay.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. A lot of people have these guys in their top 4. I know a lot of the NBL analysis have these guys in the 4. They said they're a lock. I like the look of Southeast. I mean, they're bringing a lot of guys back from last year. Creek, Brokoff, Tarangi, Liafa, Adnam, Glidden. A lot of guys coming back. I like the addition of Zhou Chi and Xavier Mumford. They've also got a new import who we are yet to see, Devin Thomas. I don't think he starts. I think he will be a backup 4 for Creek. These guys are the second best bigs in the league, I feel like. I think Zhou Chi and Mitch Creek are probably the only guys that can go head-to-head with Humphreys and DJ. So I like the look of Southeast. What needs to happen for them to win it all? I think they've got to have a really good regular season. They've got to make the 4. They've got to, work things out as a team. I like Simon Mitchell. I think Munford needs to really step up. He needs to be, an NBL elite point guard. We've got a lot in the league. He needs to be one of them. I like the look of Munford. He looked really good in the last 2 preseason games. Zhou Chi's going to get buckets. He's going to average 18, 20 points a game. I'm pretty confident in that. He looked really good. Adnam looked really good as well. I'm not sure. They're probably going to bring him off the bench, I assume. I think they're going to start Glidden for the shooting. Brokoff looked really good as well. I know he had a bit of a rocky season last year. He was in the NBA and everyone's thinking an NBA player coming to the league, but he didn't really impress. He was very inconsistent, but he looked very good in the preseason. Person I want to make the biggest leap this season, I'm going to say Tarangi. I think if they're going to be successful, I think he needs to be very impactful off the bench. Adnam said he's the most underrated player on the team. I've seen firsthand what he can do. I watched him live a couple of times, and every time I've seen him play live, he's absolutely killed it. I think he does play a big role in this team. I think he is the bench small forward. So I'm going to say Tarangi. Thoughts on where they'll place? I've got them at 5th. This is my team that just misses out. They're on the brink of the 4. I've got them coming 5th. I think it'll come down to one game. But I do see Bullets cracking the 4, and I think this team just misses out. I'm just not sold if Creek can put a team on his back and lead them to a ring. I like Mitch Creek. I think he will make an All-NBL team, but I'm just not sure whether I want to rely on him to carry my team to the promised land. So I'm going to go Southeast Melbourne coming 5th. What about you? Where do you have Southeast?
I got him at 9th, man.
Wow.
Yeah, going against the grain on this one. I know a lot of people are high.
That's controversial. That's very controversial.
Yeah, I'm just not sold. I'm looking at the roster. I wasn't impressed by Brokoff last year when he came in. I think Brokoff is a premier player. He's a sniper. I mean, he knows what he can do, but he just didn't seem like he was motivated slash healthy last year. Maybe he's had an off season where he's put it all together and he's going to come back stronger. I'm not a big fan of the imports they've signed. Xavier Munford looks okay. Like I'm talking, I feel like to come in to the NBL and be an import, it's like the standard is Bryce Cotton. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's like NBA imports LaMelo Ball, even though he was the next star, but guys come here from other places and they eat. And I think certain guys can live up to that hype. Like XRM is someone I think is going to live up to that. Tyler Harvey will live up to that. I'm just not sold about Xavier Munford. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be a solid NBL player. I think he'll do okay. I'm just looking at the roster and I'm not sold that they're gonna go deep. I don't think they're gonna be really, really good. I just think they'll be okay. They'll win a few games. I think they'll just kind of taper off and just not quite click and get it together. Now, if they finish in the top 4, I'm not gonna sit here and be like shocked. I'm looking at I can see why they could be successful. You know, they got some pieces there. They can definitely play at this level and some vets. But like you said, like somebody has to finish 9th. And if I had to just piece it together in my mind, I just think it'll be the Phoenix, man.
It's crazy. We just spoke to Xavier Cooks and he had them in the finals with the Kings. He reckons they're going to be in the top 2. And he reckons Kings will pump them, he said. So we'll see. Next team, the Sydney Kings. Now, you've got the Kings jersey on.
Sir, number 14 right here. You know who it is.
For sure. Let's see where you've got the Kings placing and what your thoughts are on the roster.
All right. Love the signings. Love the roster they put together. They've gone young. They've gone with energy. They've gone with positionless basketball. And that's obviously on the back of signing coach Chase Buford. A lot of 5-out stuff. A lot of transition stuff. Shoot the ball first 8 seconds stuff. Switch everything on defense stuff. So they're going to be exciting to watch. They've recruited well. They've stuck with a pretty decent core of Brucey, Xavier Cooks, Jarrell Martin, Jordy Hunter. Angus Glover, who was a bit hurt, but now he's come back healthy. He's looked amazing in the preseason. Had a patch there where he went on a tear in one of those games. So I really like what they've done with the roster. DJ's going to come back healthy too. Probably one of the best shooters in the league. So that's going to be a big pickup for them. Who do I want to see make the biggest leap? You already know. Jersey, name on my back, Wiley Bales, coming for that Rookie of the Year, hopefully. Been working with him, obviously, and I'm excited for his progression. But apart from that, I really like Wani Swaka, man. I know he hasn't get talked about much, but he contributed for Perth last year. He played, and Gleason trusted him and to play some defense. So Wani, I think, has a future as a good kind of defensive player, a wing that can, if he can get his 3-ball together, I think he can be pretty impactful. And obviously third on that list, Xavier Cooks. I want to see get to the NBA. I think he has potential. He spoke about it, obviously, in the episode we dropped yesterday, where he thinks he has the potential to do it. He's just got to get a few things going. And I think this might be the season for him to do that. So there's a few people there I want to see make a leap. Now, what do they need for them to win it all? I think they have to click on the defensive end. So I think they have points on the board. We already know that they're gonna score a lot of points. I think they're gonna be a fast-paced team that really push the tempo. But I think they're gonna have to click on the defensive end. If they can figure out how they're gonna switch everything and their rotations of switching everything and get on point with that stuff and clean up their rules and get it all sorted and be really good with that, they're gonna be good. I think they're going to be very, very good. They're going to be hard to beat at home. You know, the Kingdom is a tough place to win, man. Like, the crowd goes crazy. So there's a big bit of hype around it this year. Like, I can just sense it in the city, in the basketball community. Everyone's kind of excited for it. So given all that, I have them finishing second.
Me too. Well, obviously it's the last team on the list, so I will put our lists up as we're saying this. So yeah, I have them second. Hesh has them second. Like you said, I think this team is potentially the most stacked team. I know Illawarra have a very stacked roster, but looking at this, there's not one player on the roster. There's not one bad player. So we're yet to see Makur Maker. We're yet to see RJ Hunter. We only saw a little flash of Matur Maker. DJ Vasilovic is coming back, who played tremendous last year. I'm just a little bit worried I know Jalen Adams is very, he's very ball dominant. RJ Hunter, we get to see Jarrell Martin. So who is the guy they go to late in game? Like if they're facing a very good defensive team, who gets the ball in their hands? I think it is still Jarrell Martin.
I think it'll be Jalen Adams.
Yeah. Okay.
Only because a couple of reasons. I think because he's a ball dominant guard, he's a playmaker, he's out of the ball screen, and I think Chase has a great relationship with him. He's coached him before.
Yeah.
So I think he brought him on to be that type of guy. And he showed in patches how he can be. So I think it'll be Jalen Adams when the game's online.
I'm gonna say Jarrell. I think Jarrell Martin's very, very dominant. He's very hard to stop. He looked good in the preseason as well. Xavier Cooks, like this team looks unreal. Jordan Hunter played so good last year as well. They got Wiley Glover's looking unreal in the preseason. So I'm keen. I've got them second. I think they're going to do very well. I'm not going to say they don't win the chip at second. I'm just going to say they make the 4 and they're placed second at the end of the regular season. So yeah, Kings. I'm really high on this roster. I like it. I'm going to be tuning into every Kings game this season. I want to see Wiley get minutes. I want to see him, turn it up a little bit. I want to see him in the draft next year. Sean Bruce is looking all right as well. So yeah, this team's looking good. I like the look of it. I've got them second. So now we're going to
let's look at our 10, man. Who you got?
Let's look at it.
You got
so
number 1.
10, Hawks, Kings, Perth, but Southeast, Adelaide, Breakers, United, JackJumpers, Cairns. So let's hear yours.
I got Hawks.
Yep.
Hawks, Kings. We agree on 1 and 2.
Yep.
Then I got Brisbane at 3. So we both got Brisbane, Hawks, and Kings in the top 4.
Yeah, they're a lock.
And where we disagree is I've got Adelaide at 4th.
Yeah.
And then I have Perth just missing out, Tasmania just missing out, Breakers tapering off a little bit, and then both Melbourne teams not doing too much damage, and then Cairns rounding off the back at 10th.
Yeah. I think your most controversial one is JackJumpers at 6 and Southeast at 9. That's pretty wild to me. Southeast. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Someone has to go out on a limb. Someone has to make these bold predictions, Reece, and it's me, man. No, I'm kidding. I'm not even saying it like I know this stuff, or I'm not a talking head on ESPN that's trying to shock value statements. That's not my intention. I wasn't just trying to rank them in some sort of vision that I see how the season's going playing out, and I got them at 9th. But if they finish top 4, I'm not gonna be shocked, dude. If Cairns finish top 4, I'm not gonna be. Actually, that'll probably be a little bit shocked. That's the only team I think doesn't really have a chance based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm just like, dude, it's crazy. If the Breakers win it, I'm not going to be like, whoa, that's crazy. I'm going to be like, yeah, they had a stacked team. Tasmania come out in their first season and finish top 4. I'm going to be like, yep, they could have done that. If Perth end up winning it on the back of Cotton and Law, even though I have them at 5th, I'm not going to be shocked. So it's impossible to pick. And I like what you said at the beginning of the episode. You said, is impossible just because of the talent that we have.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, from a fan standpoint, unbelievable this season. I can't wait for every game. From like an analyst standpoint, trying to like pick it and predict it, no chance.
100%. I'm so keen for the season. It starts Friday. I'm not sure when we are releasing this. The season could be coming out, could be starting tomorrow. There's a big first game. I think Bullets are taking on the JackJumpers, and Perth are taking on Adelaide. So we're keen. We're excited. We've dropped our preseason thoughts, and yeah, let's see how they go throughout the season. I'm just keen to see who makes the 4. I'm keen to see how the teams go. We might do a mid-season review. We'll see how it goes. But we appreciate you guys listening. Remember to follow us on YouTube and subscribe, and follow us on whatever podcast streaming platform you are listening on. If you are listening on a podcast streaming platform, follow us on Instagram at OzHoopers and at OzHoopers TV. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.